All right, so now that you understand the basic methodology and philosophy behind the customer value optimization process, I want to show you the formula. So the first one was for you psychologists out there, and this one is for maybe some of you mathematicians, although I will admit the math here is a little bit iffy, but follow along still if you will. So here's the basic formula for business growth, the basic formula that we're going to use to hopefully double the size of your business, and that is leads times the number of customers times your margin times the frequency of purchase. Leads times customers times margin, and margin is important, you'll see why in just a little bit, times the frequency of purchase. How often do people come back and buy? That is how you calculate growth potential. So what is the growth potential of your particular business? The higher we can get the growth potential. Now, we're not always going to realize our full potential in business, right? We're not going to execute every single one of these perfectly, but the greater the growth potential, even if we come up a little short, it's still going to be a whole lot better than where we are now. So we want to prop up our potential. We want to create that high tide that rises all ships. And the way that we're going to do that, the very first step, is we're going to hopefully get you twice as many leads, have twice as many leads and prospects come into your business as are currently coming in now. And we're going to do that through the optimization of a lead magnet. That's what we're going to be doing, not first step, but pretty early on. So with the optimization of your lead magnet, if you double this, then again, mathematically speaking, you've just doubled your growth potential. But we're not going to stop there. We also want to get you twice as many customers. And there's two ways that we're going to do that. The first way that we're going to do that is actually step one, which is to clearly and elegantly articulate what is your value. What is the value that you bring? I mean, marketing at the end of the day is simply the articulation of value. How do we express the value that we deliver in our company? How do we express the value that we deliver to our prospects, to our customers, in such a way that they say, yeah, I want it, I need it, and I believe what you're saying. That's what marketing does. I want it, I need it, and I believe what you're saying. Yes, please, here's my money because I know that you're going to deliver value to me over and above what I just gave you. That's all marketing ever is. So that's the first thing we want to do is we want to get that messaging right. And that's step number one, is to nail the messaging. Step number two is to deploy a tripwire. But between those two things, we want to get you twice as many customers. Twice as many customers. Now here's a great thing. Twice as many leads, and then we also double the number of customers that are coming from these existing leads. In other words, we double your conversion rate, twice as many leads, twice as many customers. Your growth potential is now 4. You now have a growth potential of 4. Now we're really getting somewhere. But we're not done. We also want to tackle margin, okay? Margin. Now a lot of people say, what is margin? What does profit have to do with the growth potential of my business? And it's simple, right? Remember what I said before. The kind of one immutable law of business, he or she who is able and willing to spend the most to acquire a customer wins. Well, how are you able, if you're a healthy, strong business, to spend a lot to acquire a business? Sure, early on when you're first getting started, you might be able to convince some, poor or lonely investor to give you some money just on spec. But eventually, the way that you are able to invest more in your business is you grow this. You grow margin. You actually make money. Once you make that money, sure, you can put some of it in your pocket, but you can also put a lot of it back into the growth of your company. The other nice thing is that once investors and bankers and people like that start seeing, wow, this company's making a lot of money, they'll give you additional capital to invest in your business. So margin is huge. Margin has a huge role. Profit has a huge role in the growth potential of your business. And that's why we're going to hopefully double the profit that's coming in from the leads and customers that you already have. We want to have you to make twice as much money, drop twice as much profit to the bottom line. And we're not talking about operational consulting or anything like that. We're talking about the conversion funnel. We're talking about adding some things in, slotting in some offers that you maybe aren't already making, or modifying some offers that you perhaps are making to increase both your immediate and your lifetime customer value. That's what we mean when we double this. Now, we double the number of leads, doubled the number of customers that are coming from those leads, and then doubled the margin, doubled the profit from all those customers. Now our growth potential isn't 4, it's 8. You see what's happening here? Frequency. Let's take all this into account, right? If we can get this twice as many leads and these twice as many customers all spending and generating twice as much revenue, if we can get them to come back and buy twice as often, well, now our growth potential isn't 8, it is 16. So all things being equal, if we're able to double our leads, double our customers, double our margin, double our frequency, then our growth potential is now 16. a 16x potential. Think about it. Your business, your company, your brand having the potential to be 16 times larger than it is today without adding a bunch of new products, a bunch of new services, by simply tweaking each one of these little levers that you have to pull, by taking all of them and saying, let's optimize this one, let's optimize that one, let's optimize that one. These are the tiny hinges that swing really, really massive doors. And so what we're talking about is how you can make these tiny little tweaks and how at the end of the day they can add up to really big numbers. Now, full transparency, full disclosure, I know you're not an idiot and I'm not going to pretend like you are. Obviously, we're not going to be able to double each and every one of these. Like, that's the goal, that's the hope, it's what we shoot for, but it doesn't always happen. And sometimes when you double the number of leads, that can have an adverse effect on your customer value. So doubling the number of leads maybe doesn't get you as many customers, or maybe your margin doesn't go up as much. But when the goal is 16, when the potential is 16, you can see how doubling, tripling, quadrupling a business is not just possible, it's very doable and very, very likely. And that's our goal for you, right? We want to make you able and willing to spend as much as possible to acquire a customer so that your business can grow and so that you will win as long as you deserve to win. And that's what this formula allows you to achieve. So that's the overview. That's the overview of customer value optimization. Now that you understand the philosophy and the math behind it all, let's dive into the actual inner workings. Let's start by optimizing your offer. Let's start by making sure that what you're selling is something that people actually want to buy. Let's hopefully double your conversion rate in the process. So with that, I'll see you in the next module.